Okay, welcome everybody to another edition of the TCC New Learners Weekly Webinar. I am your co-host, John Riley. We're going to make this quick, to the point. We're going to get you guys some good information about what's going on with TradeCoin Club. For those of you that are new to TradeCoin Club, this will be a nice overview for you. And do we have any first-time participants? If you guys want to put in the chat there, that it's your first time being exposed to TradeCoin Club, I would love to see that. If you're shy and you don't want to, I understand that as well. That's okay. So I will be co-hosting this with Dave Ireland, one of my business partners / mentor, just / all-around awesome guy. So I'll be introducing him in just a moment. He's got some great experience with trading and investing. Has a really quite impressive resume, which I read myself recently and was pretty impressed. And first time we got Angel. Is that how you pronounce it, like that? Angel? Or am I doing it incorrectly? Welcome aboard. Hey, Brian, nice to see you. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here, guys. And we're going to get started. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what we are all here to discuss. And that is the disruption known as the blockchain technology. More specifically, what a lot of you are excited about is Bitcoin, which is a digital currency. So when we talk about disruptions, as you can see, the definition here is a disturbance of problems that interrupts an event, activity, or process. Now, a lot of times what's being disrupted is an industry, right? It disrupts the value chain of industries. It makes industries obsolete. And the industry that we're talking about making obsolete with cryptocurrency and the blockchain technology is the banking industry. So this is the biggest disruption that we will ever see in our lifetimes, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll find out as time goes on. Just when I think I know something, I learn something new and I realize I didn't really know as much as I thought I knew. So the thing about this disruption that makes it very, very significant is that right now, guys, right at this very moment, you can open up your smartphone, open up the application blockchain.info, and within a matter of 2 minutes, you can have the same privileges that up until today were exclusive to the globalized banking industry, right? To the globalized banking institutions. Only they have had the power for the past century up until today, up until this present day, when the blockchain technology and cryptocurrency came to fruition. Now you guys have the same privileges as these banking institutions have. So just want to give you a little bit perspective of how massive that is. You can open up your smartphone and within a matter of 2 minutes, you have those same privileges. You can be your own bank. That is exciting stuff. So let's look at some different disruptions, right? We talk about disruptions. We have TV, internet, email, mobile. You should add an E on there. Sorry about that for all the grammar people. E-commerce and social media. So I want to just ask some of you guys out there, if there's anybody out there who's a little bit resistant or hesitant, were any of these disruptive technologies something that you may have been resistant to when they first came onto the scene? I know a lot of people may have been resistant to email, right? I don't want to send an email, right? I don't want my information to go off into the ether. I don't know where it goes. How about the internet, right? Oh, I'm not going to use the internet. I can tell you guys, social media was something that I was very resistant to. I didn't even have a Facebook account up until about 3 years ago, actually. And I got a Facebook account because I was traveling to Central America. So I was like, oh, fine, I'll get a Facebook. Even my mom had a Facebook account, right? And I didn't want to get one. I was like, no, I don't need to have my business out there all the time, basically out there into the ether and all my business being distributed amongst a bunch of people who I don't really know that well. And that was my opinion on social media. So basically I broke and I gave in, but I was resistant to social media. So the thing about disruptions is that eventually, if you don't actually become a little bit more malleable, if you don't, adapt to the society that's around you, to the paradigm that you're living in, you'll get left behind. And then eventually you're going to have to use those things anyways. right? So that's where we're at with cryptocurrency. Give me just a second, guys. All right, sorry about that. Had a brief interruption. So one of the other things that might be confusing some of you guys, or maybe this whole paradigm is new to you, is value. Well, the thing about value is that it's all about perspective, right? So what's more valuable, a $20 bill or a 1 ounce silver round? Well, some of you might have different answers to that. You might say, well, the dollar's not backed by anything, right? It's just paper. It's worthless. Of course I would take the silver. And I would tell you, okay, well, what if I were to give you $120 bills or 100 ounces of silver, and I told you that you had to live on that for the week? You had to go shopping and manage your life throughout the week. And that's the only medium that you would be able to have during your week. What would you say? Which one would you have to take then? Well, essentially, you'd be forced to take the 20s, right? Unless you can manage to sell those silver rounds. Of course, that's something different. But I saw a very interesting YouTube video. This guy was going around and offering people 100 ounces of silver, or he was offering people a $100 bill. And you would be surprised how many people were actually saying they wanted the $100 bill over the silver. That's because it's not something that's used commonly in society, so people don't see it as valuable. Now, if you're an investor, if you're someone who's a silver stacker or somebody who appreciates precious metals and commodities, then you might have responded differently to that. But the truth is that value is very relative. And that's what we're talking about with digital currency. And I'm going to explain a little bit about why people see digital currency as more valuable than gold. And to be completely truthful, it is more valuable than gold. Last week, it parodied gold in market value, and it actually stabilized above the value of gold. So history was made this week, guys. History was literally made this week. We are living in a monumental time, and a lot of it's not even being talked about on the mainstream media, which doesn't surprise me. But to think about that, a digital coin known as Bitcoin, something that is digital, stood more valuable than gold for several days this past week. So again, value is relative, right? You ask the little kid, it's deep. He says, oh man, this puddle's deep. And the dad's like, no, it's not. It's not deep at all. It's only up to my ankles, right? So what constitutes value? Well, it's a collective understanding, right? And the more people that you can get to agree on that collective understanding, the more the value is solidified. So right now we have Bitcoin, and its usability is going up and up. That's why it's standing over $1,300 per coin, guys. Again, $1,300 per Bitcoin. Now, you can buy Bitcoins in fragments, so you don't have to worry about buying an entire coin. But the point of this is that the value is being solidified because more and more people are using Bitcoin, not just because they're using it, because they're understanding that it's valuable. Its properties are valuable, the way it's able to be used and the way it's able to free people from economic stagnation because of the current centralized banking systems that have been in place, these archaic banking systems that need to be gone. And cryptocurrency, quite honestly, is something that is an unstoppable trend because it's a distributed network and there's no company, corporation, there's no owner that they can go after. And that's the beautiful thing about a distributed, decentralized cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. So if you guys want to keep your dollars in the bank, that's fine, have at it. Hide it under your mattress. But I can tell you that you're betting on some pretty bad odds, okay? Because fiat currencies, which are basically unbacked government currencies, have a 0% success rate, okay? And this is kind of, just to give you one example of the dollar, we look at the value of the dollar. Now, the value actually, what that means is its purchasing power. So the fact that I go to the grocery store today and I have to spend $3 on a mango, right, on one single mango, or $7 on some cinnamon, that's pretty scary stuff. And that basically shows that what the value is able to purchase, the purchasing power of the dollar, has been going down consistently ever since the inception of the Federal Reserve cartel, is what I call it. The Federal Reserve, which is a corporation. It's not a government agency. So why in an instant and digital world do we still have to wait days and pay $700 billion a year in fees, which are actually fees that mostly target the poor people, right? The people that travel around to different countries so they can work and send money back to their families. Meanwhile, we have a government that's $20 trillion in debt and has an income tax that's just completely arbitrary. But meanwhile, there are people all over the world that have to leave their country. They have to go to a different country because there aren't any economic opportunities where they live. And then on top of that, they have to pay $700 billion collectively in fees just to send money back home to their family, who's living in poverty, mind you. And these fees are soaked up on an annual basis. And after the crash of 2008, we're talking about the birth of the blockchain, right? And basically the world's first commercialized digital currency, Bitcoin. So what happened with Bitcoin? Well, I'll let Dave get into that a little bit if he wants to, but I'll just touch on it. So it was basically created by an underground pseudonym, I guess a man who went by a pseudonym, Satoshi Nakamoto, and we don't know who the real person or the real inventor, could be people, could be more than one person, of Bitcoin is. But it was a very underground community when it first started. And the first transaction that took place was basically for a couple of pizzas. And when that transaction took place, somebody ordered pizza for another member, and that person sent him some Bitcoin. I think it was 10,000 Bitcoins. And the community celebrated because that proved that Bitcoin could be used for commerce, essentially. It could be used as a medium of exchange. So that was a big deal for the community, and they were very, very excited about that. Now, Bitcoin went through a lot of negative press, and I'm not going to get into all the conspiracy stuff, but basically the best way to discredit something is to disseminate misinformation. One of my favorite experts in this space is Andreas Antonopoulos, and he basically says the biggest threat to Bitcoin is the dissemination of misinformation. And I believe that to be totally true. So people called it a Ponzi scheme. They called it this, they called it that. It got lots of negative press. And it almost worked. It almost worked, but it didn't, because the true organic nature of Bitcoin thrived. And it's gone through lots of volatility, but at the same time, the past 4 out of 5 years, it's been the best performing currency, commodity, you name it, out there in the market. So food for thought on that. So just to talk a little bit about what is cryptocurrency, and I'll pass this over to Dave shortly. It's basically, it means digital currency. So don't get wrapped up on the terminology, but really that's what it is. It's digital currency, but it's self-regulating. So it's something that you can send back and forth without the need for a banker or a settler or all these different invisible borders, essentially, that charge you these fees. And it's made possible through a process that's called cryptography. It's very, very secure. And let me explain to you why it's secure. And I'm going to give you a simple example that I heard recently. In order to hack Bitcoin, in order to hack it, you'd have to picture if you had $1,000 and I gave you $1,000 and you stored it in your safe at your home. If somebody broke into your house and took that $1,000, it would be gone, right? Because once cash is out of your hand, you're not going to see that cash again. That transaction is final. So the great thing about Bitcoin is that it's similar to digital cash, where the transaction is final. It goes from somebody's wallet to another wallet, and once that transaction is done, it's done. But the great thing about cryptocurrency is that, picture, instead of having that $1,000 in a safe in your home, all in one spot, you had $1,001 bills, and you put it in 1,000 different locations all around the world, in 1,000 different safes. And the only way that anybody would have access to that $1,000 was if they broke into every single safe around the world simultaneously. That's the easiest way I can explain how secure cryptocurrency is and how secure Bitcoin is. Do people, leave their passcodes laying around, and do they not secure their passwords and lose their passwords, and then people hack into their accounts and they basically are able to send Bitcoin that way? Well, sure, but that can happen with anything where you're not being careful about your password, right? But cryptocurrency itself, Bitcoin itself, is very, very secure. Many call it unhackable because of the reason I just gave you. So it's much more secure than credit cards. I think my credit card's been cloned about 3 times in the past year. it's just incredible how much fraud goes on in the banking world that exists today. It's really laughable, but it's no big deal because all they do is create more of it. It's very simple. They just make more of it, guys. It's done through a process called fractional reserve lending. They just create more out of thin air and they saturate the currency. And so it's not a big deal. The banks will cover your back. So don't worry. If you like being insured, right? If you prefer being insured of something worthless than over owning Bitcoin, then perhaps you want to stay in that sector. But I prefer having something that is mine. I own it. I can be my own bank, and its value continues to go up based on supply and demand. So I want to show you guys some basic properties of gold, and then we have fiat, and then we have cryptocurrency, right? I put silver at the top, but it works the same for gold or silver. So if you look at all of these categories, you'll notice that gold and fiat do have some high and moderate levels. You'll notice that portability is only moderate with gold. It means you can move it around, right? With cash, it's much more portable, right? It's much easier to move around. You have durability with gold is higher than cash, right? It's less durable. When you have divisibility, which means you can break it down into smaller units, both gold and fiat currency are pretty similar. Secure, they call it moderate. I guess that's probably a very subjective viewpoint, but they say that both gold and fiat are moderate. And then when you say easily transactable, notice that gold is low, right, guys? So if you own a bunch of gold and most of your wealth is in gold, and you're trying to get that gold into a spendable currency, that's going to be harder to do than if you just hold on to the currency itself, right? That's pretty common sense. How about scarceness? Well, predictable supply. They say that is moderate for gold. Why do they say that? Well, because they are discovering, more and more locations now around the world where we could potentially find a lot more gold. Well, look at the US dollar or fiat currency. Scarcity is very low. Scarcity just means there's a finite amount, right? A predictable supply. Scarcity is extremely low because, like I said, they just create it out of thin air, guys. It's just a number on a computer screen. That's all it is. When you're spending your credit card and you're going out to dinner, they're not moving actual physical cash around to back up that transaction. They're just typing numbers on a computer screen. So it's completely low, right? Sovereignty means government issued, low for gold, high for fiat currency. But I want to show you guys obviously this programmable aspect here is low for both. Decentralized, very, very low, right? It's fiat currency is very centralized. It's controlled by the banks. It's controlled by the central banks and the Federal Reserve. And gold is low as well. It's not very decentralized. It's very manipulated right now, the gold and silver markets. But look at cryptocurrency. All of these properties are high. All the good ones are high. What's the one that's low, guys? What is the one property you see here that is low? It's sovereignty, right? It's not government issued. So it's out of the park. It scores high on all of these characteristics, but the one that it scores low on is the one that I actually like it being low on, and that's the fact that it's not controlled and manipulated by governments and central banks. So awesome. All right, guys. So if you're not sold yet, not that I'm trying to sell anybody, but you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at what the millionaires and billionaires and hedge funds and investors are doing now and what they're saying now about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, right? All the smartest people in the room are very excited about cryptocurrency. So you don't have to take my word for it. Do your own due diligence and understand that Bitcoin is the largest returning investment in a 4-year period ever. There has never been anything that we have recorded record of that has ever returned like Bitcoin has returned. You might be saying, well, John, it's at $1,300. It seems like I'm too late. Think again. I'll let Dave talk to you a little bit about that. But the economics of Bitcoin is absolutely fascinating. And there is never, never a better time than to get into a space where you can earn and accumulate more Bitcoin. All right, so I'm actually going to go over here and see if we have any questions. Any immediate questions that can't be answered? Okay, nothing? All right, so I'll go ahead and unmute Dave here, or he might talk into his phone. Dave, are you going to talk into your phone? Okay, great. So I'm going to pass it over to Dave Ireland. He's going to talk a little bit about what's going on here with Trade Coin Club. Let me just do this briefly, and then I'll pass it over to you, Dave. What is TradeCoin Club? It's a membership club, and that's what we're talking about here today. So I know I talked a lot about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I hope you guys got an idea of what's happening around the world. And the next question that you have to ask yourself is, well, how can I accumulate more Bitcoin? Really? Because that's what we want to do. We want to accumulate Bitcoin. What you guys do with your Bitcoin is up to you. I definitely would recommend holding on to most of it. But if you want to trade it, if you want to trade it for other cryptocurrencies, if you want to buy things like gold and silver, if you want to spend it at hundreds and thousands of merchants around the world, you can do that as well. So it's up to you what you do with your Bitcoin. But really the important question I think we have to ask ourselves is, how am I going to take advantage of this digital gold rush? That's really what we're looking at right now. It's a gold rush, guys, but it's the digital gold rush. If you go to coinmarketcap.com and look at all the cryptocurrencies, I mean, the performance of these things is insane. I was kind of laughing the other day. I'm like, wow, really anybody can be a good trader right now if you just buy some of the top 10 cryptocurrencies and sit on them. I mean, it's ridiculous what these things are doing. They're going up and up in value. The reason being is because the popularity is just about to hit the bell curve. So if you guys are really serious about this and you want to take advantage of this wealth transfer, which many are saying will be the biggest wealth transfer in human history, then an important question to ask yourself is, what am I going to do to take advantage of this wealth transfer? What am I going to do to grab a hold of this digital gold rush? Well, one of the ways you can do that is through TradeCoin Club. And all that is it's a membership club, guys. And all they do is trade the digital coin market. That's what they do. They trade the top 10. Now, they do the trading for you through their automated high algorithmic trading platform. And I'll let Dave talk about that more. But essentially, we are simply a membership club that splits profits both in the trading and the affiliate side of the company. So if somebody asks you, well, what is TradeCoin Club? That's a pretty good answer you can give them, right? We're a membership club, and we split the profits in both trading and the affiliate marketing side. You know, that's one way you could put it. There are many ways to phrase it, but that's what we are. We're just a trading club. We're a membership club. So I will go ahead and hand this over to Dave. Dave, are you with us? Let me see if we got Dave here. Dave, are you with us? You got to talk on the phone there. Did you call in? I'm going to unmute you. Go ahead and talk. Let me see if I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's very, very low, though. Did you call in on your phone?
Yeah, I'm on my phone now.
Okay.
When we started. Can you hear anything at all?
Yeah, it's just very, very low. Before what you were doing was working, when you were talking into the phone, that was working.
How's that? That better? Is that coming through now?
We'll give Dave just a second here, guys. Bear with us. Hopefully we can get his sound going, or I'll have to take the whole thing.
We had it working before, John. I just can't hear you at all.
Let me unmute you here. Yeah, we're going to have to figure out the mic situation next time. Sorry about that. Oh, I see. Are you, let me, you're muted on your phone. So let me figure out how to stop my share here real quick, guys. Bear with us. Sorry about that, guys. Dave, what number are you calling in on? What area code? All right. So let me see if we can get Dave unmuted. All right. Hey, Dave, what area code are you calling in on?
Calling in on area code 512.
512?
Yep, 512.
Okay, let me unmute the 512 number here. Hopefully I can find it. Okay. Please talk, Dave.
Am I alive?
Yeah, you are. You're good to go.
Okay. This technology stuff, John, wow. But we beat it.
We did. We just dominated that technology, that's for sure.
Not the dead. Well, folks, let me jump right into it because we're starting to run a little bit behind. I'll give you a little background on myself, and then we'll get into the what is trading and how TCC actually does what they do. Now, I come out of the corporate world. I spent about 27 years at Eastman Kodak Company. Started out in electrical engineering, received my master's in accounting. Everybody else getting an MBA, I had to be different. So I became a bean counting engineer, one of the very scariest people you ever want to meet. I love spreadsheets. Never met a spreadsheet I didn't love. If I don't get to see a spreadsheet at least once a day, sorry folks, I have major withdrawal problems. But when I retired, I was director of international finance for one of Kodak's divisions. I retired in 1992 at age 48. And after about 2 years, I became very, very bored. So I actually became a professional speaker, a consultant. I've written a couple books on finances. I'm actually working on my third book. I have it up here in my mind. And it's going to be about cryptocurrencies and the blockchain, and really be written for the layperson, because the blockchain can get pretty technical. But I look at myself as more of an investor than a trader. Now, I've been investing since 1965. I bought my first shares of Kodak. And then in 1966, I bought my first call option, paid $300 for share and steel call option, lost every penny of it. But failure is a great teacher. I learned you don't buy options, you sell them. So now what I do is I focus on putting call options, mainly vertical spreads, iron condors. And I've developed a pretty neat delta neutral, gamma neutral swing trading technique using the RSI and the MACD lines, and it works really, really well, but nothing compared to how well TCC's trading platform is working for me. Now, here's the good news about trading. You don't have to understand any of this MACD stuff or anything about trading in order to be successful with TCC. Their trading platform, they basically manage everything, and it's all done for you. But that's enough about me and my background. Let's talk about just what is trading. And the way to look at trading is to start out by talking about investing. Investing, people clearly understand. It's when you buy stocks, bonds, gold, anything, any asset, and hang on to it for a long time. You're investing in it. And probably the name that comes to mind is the most famous is Warren Buffett. Now, traders are a little bit different. They're buying these same kind of assets, but they sell them quickly, a couple weeks, couple months. There's even day traders, and they're just looking to make a small profit. Buy at 20, sell at 25, pocket $5. Now, day traders do this daily, or maybe a couple days later, and they're only looking for really small profits. Well, what TCC is doing is what's called high frequency trading, where they buy and sell, and they're focusing on cryptocurrencies, and they buy and sell in a matter of seconds, or sometimes like milliseconds. So the trade coin currencies they're trading are more than just Bitcoin. There's thousands of cryptocurrencies out there now, and they're trading the top 10, which we'll look at in a little bit. But all they're looking for is a minuscule profit, pennies or fractions of a penny. But when you do thousands of these an hour, thousands of these a day, that little bit of money really adds up. So how are they doing this? Well, they're using some pretty high proprietary software. And the software was initially developed by the hedge funds back in the 2008, 2009 to trade stocks on Wall Street. And they use the high frequency technique where they're buying and selling very quickly. And what TCC has done is customize this to the cryptocurrency market. And they're doing the high frequency, and it's auto trading. And that's really important from my perspective, because I don't have to be the genius. And they're trading on there's a few cryptocurrency exchanges like the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, but these exchanges trade cryptocurrencies only. And there's a couple in China and Japan. They're really all over the world. And what TCC has done is they've gotten a license. So they're actually the only licensed and insured and bonded trading platform that's out there right now. And the way that they do this is they use their high frequency cryptocurrency trading on their in-house computer, so they have total control. They're using the proprietary software, and their job is to generate profits for us, the members of TCC, and they do that Monday through Friday. We get paid every day with our trading profits. And the other thing that they've done is they put in a very unique stop loss. It can be anywhere from 0.35 to 0.45%, depending on what trading level you're trading at. And John will get into that a little bit more detail. Now, what does the stop loss really mean in English? Well, on any given day, the most one can lose is 0.45% of their investment. Now, if you're trading at the apprentice level, it might be as low as 0.35, but let's go worst case scenario, 0.45. So we're talking about probably $5 to $10 a day is the max that you can lose. Now, I've been trading with TCC for 4 months now, and the lowest I've received is 0.42%, not a loss. I've never had a loss. Matter of fact, they've been trading since December of 2016, and they've never had a trading loss. Now, will they have a trading loss? Absolutely. And I really want to emphasize, past performance is no guarantee of future results. So right now they're running pretty nice, but someday they're going to have a losing day, but it's going to be limited to 4.45%. So what does that really mean? Let's say they had 20 losing days in a row. Now, I've never heard of any stock market having 20 losing days in a row. 10 or 15 maybe. I haven't seen the stock market go down 20 days in a row, even the worst times in the 1930s, but I wasn't around. Well, pretty close now I think about it. But suppose you had 20 losing days in a row. Well, if you had 10 losing days in a row, 0.45% times 10 is 4.5%. 20 would make it around 10%. But the actual calculation is 8.63% if you do the future calculation. So what does this really mean? It means that, let's say you invested 1 Bitcoin with TCC and you had 20 losing days in a row. Well, with the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin being at about $1,300, it means you'd lose about $130. Well, if I had 10 trading days in a row or 20 trading days in a row where I lost, I kind of pick up my marbles and go someplace else. But I would still have 90% of my original investment intact, because the most I can lose is 10%. So that makes me feel pretty comfortable about the risk to reward ratio that you have with this trading platform. And let me show you, and actually John's going to do this, show you the top 10 cryptocurrencies that they're trading. Now, some of these you may be familiar with: Ethereum, Ripple, Monero, Dash, but they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. And that also is a very good thing from my trading perspective, my investment perspective. They're getting diversified with what they're doing across these top 10 cryptocurrencies. And there's about 3,000 of them out there. So this is going to, change every once in a while. But right now, these are the top 10 that we're talking about. Now, exactly how does TCC do this? Well, that's the next slide that John's going to show you. And it's very simple. They're using their proprietary software to auto trade the top 10 cryptocurrencies. They're using their proprietary mathematical algorithm, which is programmed into this auto trading computers, and they predict the direction of the cryptocurrencies. Are they going to go up? Are they going to go down? And then the computers automatically place the buy and sell orders. We don't need to know anything about trading. The computer does it all. Just like you really don't know how the internal combustion engine works in order to get in the car and drive it. Well, in this case, we don't even need to get in the car and drive it. They're driving the car for us. Now, every Sunday night, we do have to turn the key. We have to turn it on and let the trading people know that we want to trade this week, but that's about it. Now, here's probably the most important concept I wanted to leave with you, and that is the rule of 72, because this is a very handy rule to have. And basically all it says is, if you want to know how long it's going to take to double your Bitcoins or double your investment, let's say you're investing in the stock market and you're getting about a 10% a year return. Well, you just divide that 10% into number 72, and it tells you that you're going to be able to double your money every 7.2 years. So it's a kind of an easy way to get a handle on how well the operation can be, what the possibilities are for the future. Now, what we're dealing with here, though, is earning, as I said before, I'm earning an average of about 0.7 0.85. Let's say it's 0.72 because that's an easy number to work with. Well, if I divide that into 72, 0.72 goes in there 100, and I'm earning that every day. So that means we can double our coins in every 100 days if this continues. But again, let me emphasize, past performance is no guarantee of future results. This is just what's happened in the past. But if it continues into the future, that's great. But that's really what we're counting on, is that this is going to be here for a while. And as long as it's here, I'm going to take advantage of it by investing in the cryptocurrencies, the top 10 through the TCC trading platform. And the risk to reward ratio is outstanding. I mean, the risk is very low because of the stop loss, and the reward is very high because of the returns that they're getting. Now, here's a last tip I want to leave you. If you guys find this as exciting as many of us do, this cryptocurrency world, please join your local Bitcoin club. Doesn't cost any money. They're great people. They've been, messing around with cryptocurrencies, some of them as far back as 2010, 2011, and they love sharing their knowledge and their information with you. We have one here in Austin that meets every Tuesday, and I love going there listening to these guys. They serve up pizza and beer, so it's kind of a fun group of people. But with that said and done, John, I want to turn it back to you. But if anybody has any questions, John and I are going to be hanging around here at the end, and probably about 10 minutes when we finish this off, 10, 15 minutes. And we'll answer any and all questions. So, if I've generated some ideas for you or some questions that you have, just jot them down and we'll come back on and answer them at the end. But John, let people know about the membership and how to become a member and really what's involved in the referral marketing process and all that other good stuff.
Will do, Dave. Thanks. Absolutely. Awesome little breakdown on the trading there. So for those of you that are in this just for the trading side, you may want to go ahead and take off, and we appreciate you coming. But if you're someone who is interested in sharing this and using this platform to generate a whole lot of Bitcoin in terms of the team building side is what I call it, because really what you're doing is you're helping to build the club, right? We're adding more people to the club so we can all profit together, and the company rewards you for doing that. So, just like all sorts of programs out there, guys, I just got an email from TD Ameritrade a couple weeks back, and now they have an affiliate program going. That's a broker, also offshore, and they have an affiliate program going as well, and they make it look kind of funny where they have all these people branching out from you. And of course, they won't go down more than 2 levels, because then at that point they have to be classified an MLM. And we know how a lot of companies don't want to be categorized that way. So, but I will tell you guys, Uber, all sorts of mainstream companies left and right are jumping on the direct sales model. And all that means is that you get rewarded when you bring a new customer to the platform. It's very, very simple. And TCC does it like no other. I can assure you. I would challenge anybody out there to find a compensation plan that's more lucrative than the one I'm about to show you. And to get involved in that, it is no different than if you just want to participate in the trading. So one is not contingent on the other, which I love. There are no differences in fees. You don't have to buy a certain membership package in order to be able to promote this thing and earn commissions. None of that nonsense that we see out there with a lot of other companies. This is an e-commerce company, guys, and they offer multiple different ways to earn. One of the favorite things I've learned over this past year is that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. Well, I can tell you guys that we're dang near close to hitting that just inside the TradeCoin Club platform. They have multiple streams of income. I just saw one hit my account last night. It's called the residual bonus. I forgot it was even coming. It's nice to go to bed. I'm about to go to sleep on Saturday night. I know my days. On Saturday night, and I log into my account, and all of a sudden I get a commission that just was put into my account in Bitcoin. That's a great feeling. That's called passive income. So the membership options are as follows. We're going to blow through this because I'm trying to keep this within an hour. So we're going to move fast, guys, but don't be alarmed if you don't get it all right now. I do have a getting started page, and I'll put the link in there. before we end this meeting, and you can go there and watch videos on all of this stuff. So let's go ahead and run through this right now. Deep breath, and here we go. So 3 levels to join. You have the apprentice, the trader, and the senior trader. It basically calculates up to 0.25 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin, and 5 Bitcoin. Nothing is done in dollars. The company doesn't accept any sort of fiat currencies. They're an e-commerce company, so they don't need to get in any sort of situation where they have to be accountable to the SEC or any of these other regulatory entities. So they only take Bitcoin. So it's Bitcoin in and Bitcoin out. If you go and sell your Bitcoin and you want to declare that, and that's a choice you want to make, then that is up to you and your accountant. That is not something that we advise people to do or not do. That's not our job. Our job is simply to spread the word and to show you how you can earn in this platform. So there is a 0.05 registration fee or a software fee. It's a pay to play, guys. You got to pay to play, and that's one time. They're not going to charge you that again, even if you upgrade along the way. For example, guys, you see here, you can come in at the apprentice. If you want to come in at 0.47, that's fine. Then come in at 0.47. It's just that the minimum for the first time entry, for the first time to get your account funded and to be active, is 0.30. That's the 0.25 plus the 0.05. And again, if this whole Bitcoin decimal stuff is bringing you back to 3rd grade math and you're stressing out, don't worry, you will get it. The more you look in your back office and you start to understand Bitcoin, the easier this information will process. So that's the gist of it, guys. And you can move up those levels in increments. So if you want to take outside Bitcoin and compound it, maybe your goal is to take $100 out of each paycheck and convert it to Bitcoin and then put it into TradeCoin Club, then that's your choice. You can do that. And then guess what? The instant you hit that 1 Bitcoin level on the trader level, you will be a trader. So you'll be at the trader level. And then you can move up in increments as well. Another way to move up in increments is to do what we call compounding. That's when you take your trading profits throughout the week and you simply put them back into the exchange. That's another way to continue to incrementally progress through the 3 levels here. And then you have the senior trader. Okay, I advise, personally, I tell everybody, get to the senior trader, guys. $300, or right now it's what, $430 for an apprentice. If you're just sitting on that, you're not going to get rich. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. You're not going to get rich off $400 if you're just doing the trading. You can certainly earn a lot of Bitcoin, life-changing Bitcoin, if you're at the apprentice level and you do the team building, you do the marketing. That's definitely very probable, not even possible, but probable if you put in the work. But as far as just trading goes, if you guys are just putting in the apprentice and you don't want to put any additional Bitcoin in and you don't want to compound, well then, yeah, you'll get some returns at the end of the year, most likely, right? Nothing's guaranteed, but based on what I've seen. But at the same time, I think it's a really good idea for everybody to try to get up to that senior trader level. So it is a contract, guys. So when you put in your initial deposit, they will guarantee you 50% back, right? 50% back if you decide to pull out early. So don't put in more than you're comfortable risking. Everything's a risk, guys. There's nothing guaranteed in life, only I guess death and taxes, right, Dave? And that's just how this works. They have to have a contract in place in order to have this system be sustainable. And they've set this up in a really nice way. So for the apprentice, it's 8 months. For the trader, 12 months. And for the senior trader, it's 12 months. Now, a common question we get is, do they start it all over? If you go from apprentice to trader, do they start that contract over? No, they do not. They just add it on to the end. Okay, guys? And you have the 3 different stop losses there. You can see that, low, medium, and high. And then you'll see here that every membership pays 25% trading fee for every 4 months on the total gains of your trading account. Now, these are newly accrued profits, guys. They don't keep taking 25% out of the old profits, right? Or what's in there, or what was in there before. These are newly accrued profits. So they take 25% out of what they make you, essentially. So you get to keep the lion's share, is what I like to say. And then you'll see that contract term or gains above 5 times the amount invested obligates you to renew your contract. And I have a video in my Getting Started page. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of detail about that on this presentation, but I do have a video. I'm on my way to doing that 3 times now, earning 5 times what I have total deposited. So it's a very great setup. It's how we keep the system sustainable, and it's how we keep taking care of the network. All right, so 5 ways to earn. And I think we have somebody that might be unmuted. I'm not sure if that's you, Dave, but it's a little bit of noise there. So direct referral, indirect referral, team bonus, bonus residual, and the renewal team bonus. Like I said, guys, if you put the trading in there, that's 6 ways to earn inside one single platform. That is powerful. The direct bonus is very simple, 10%, guys, across the board. There is a cap on that. So for the apprentice level, you can earn up to 0.99 Bitcoin, almost a full Bitcoin per direct referral. So that's pretty awesome, right? You can come in for 0.3, and if you bring in 10 people who each put in a Bitcoin, you're going to earn a full Bitcoin. You've already more than tripled your initial deposit. That's a pretty good business, I'd say, seeing as most businesses don't even turn a profit in their first year, right? So I'd say that's a pretty sweet deal. Trader, the cap is at 4.99 Bitcoin. So that's pretty awesome, right? If somebody comes in and they want to put in 25 Bitcoins, you can earn 5 Bitcoins in a one-time commission. And you can do that with as many people as you want, guys. There are no limits to how many people you can bring in directly. And then the senior trader is completely unlimited. Now, again, this is one of the benefits to getting yourself up to the higher levels. If you are at the apprentice level and you bring someone in who wants to put in 15 Bitcoins, well, what do you guys think is going to happen? You're going to miss out, right? You're going to miss out on some of that commission. So I would definitely recommend getting yourself up to at least trader. I recommend people starting at least trader. If you can't swing it right now, no problem at all. You can do great things with the apprentice level, but I do recommend continuing to move yourself up to the senior trader. The guy who sponsored me, Steven, he has an incredibly inspirational story. He started at the apprentice level. I mean, the guy was hurting financially. He didn't have a lot of money. He was working 2 jobs. He was driving about 16 hours a day, both for Uber and Lyft. You guys can appreciate that tongue slip. But Uber and Lyft, and basically 16 hours a day, guys. Within 2 months in the Trade Coin Club, he went from the apprentice up to senior trader. And now today, Steven is traveling all over the world representing Trade Coin Club. He's made over 6 figures already worth of Bitcoin, and he didn't take another dime out of his pocket. That's a pretty inspirational story. The second way to earn, indirect referrals. Very simple, guys. With the apprentice, again, you can go down to 4 levels, trader down to 6 levels, and senior trader down to 8 levels. So what does this mean, John? Well, basically what this means is that if you bring in 10 people directly, for each one of those people, you can earn a percentage on the people that they bring in. It's very, very simple. It's not difficult. It's very simple. So if I bring in Dave, and Dave brings in Joe, and Joe puts in 10 Bitcoin into the exchange, how much do I make? Well, I make 3% of whatever Joe puts into the exchange, right? Now, if I bring in 100 people wide, which is what I recommend everybody try to do, set a goal for a year. Try to bring in 100 people, guys, directly, and you will be just shocked at what happens in your life. But what I'm saying is that if you bring in 10 people directly, every single one of those people you can earn down to the 8th level at the senior trader. So again, if you guys are sticking around at the apprentice because you're being a little bit cheap, right? And you don't want to put in any more money, or you don't want to take anything you're making and reinvest it into your life and into your future and into your business, well, then you're missing out on all these potential bonuses. And I can promise you guys, all these 1%, these add up, guys. I have made more in indirect bonuses off of all of these little 1% bonuses adding up than I have made off of direct bonuses. So if you guys are thinking you want to, you don't want to put in any extra Bitcoin, or you don't want to compound, you want to stay at the apprentice, you're only really hurting yourself. I can tell you from personal experience, because I would have left so much wealth on the table if I wouldn't have upgraded senior trader, even though I started at the senior trader, because I put my money where my mouth is. Team bonus, right? Some of you guys might know of this as the network bonus, or the weak team bonus, right? You have 2 teams, a left team and a right team. Very, very simple, guys. At the end of the day, you're going to get a percentage on the volume of the weaker side. So we all have one side that's probably, it has more Bitcoin just sitting there. Let's say you have a team that has done 300 Bitcoins worth of volume. What that means is that collectively they put in 300 Bitcoins into the exchange, right? And that would be probably called what we call a power leg, right? That's something that's just sitting there. Now the other team, it might be taking a little bit longer to get going, but guess what happens at the end of the day? Everything that happens on the smaller team side, whether it's from you directly, from people that build below you, whatever it's from, everything that happens, you're going to catch a percentage of that at the end of the day. Now, there are some limits. For the apprentice, it's 8% or 2 Bitcoin. For the trader, it's 9% or 10 Bitcoin. And for the senior trader, it's 10% or 15 Bitcoins, guys. 15 Bitcoins right now is valued at, I don't know what it is, 18,000 USD or something like that. So basically what you're talking about is a monthly potential income of nearly $500,000 worth of Bitcoin in just one single bonus. And I can tell you that this bonus is very, very powerful. It's the bonus that has made me the most Bitcoin so far. So again, another incentive to get yourself up to the senior trader level. And it's just an incredible, incredible bonus. Now, here's something that may really excite you guys about this team bonus. When people compound their gains, when they take the trade profits that the company's making them and they put those back into the exchange, yes, it does count towards the volume on your weaker team. That is flabbergasting, guys. You know why? Because that's a residual income. Whereas most network bonuses are not residual, this is a residual income. It's incredible to watch people compound. They're winning, you're winning. This is such a win-win platform. I can't say enough about it. If you guys haven't realized that already, I'm pretty excited. So that's the gist of the team bonus. If you don't really get it right now, again, don't stress out. We can go through this again. There are plenty of videos you can watch on this. Now, if you thought that bonus was quite staggering, take a look at this bonus. This is truly the win-win bonus of the platform. I love this bonus. This bonus is not contingent on any new members coming in. So if anybody out there says to you, yeah, well, you need to have new people coming in to make money, you can simply pull up this slide and say, that's false. So you don't need new members to make money on this bonus, to make Bitcoin. This bonus is paid based on the monthly fee. Now, guys, you're going to pay this monthly fee. Everybody pays this monthly fee. But here's the beautiful thing about this monthly fee. It's taken out of the profits that the company makes you in trading. They only take the fee if they make you money. And they only take it if you've made at least 0.25 Bitcoin. So you have to make at least 0.25 Bitcoin to actually be charged this fee. So for all the apprentices out there that are saying, well, John, that's kind of a large amount. I don't make that in a day, or it takes me a whole week. Don't worry, guys. Until the company makes you 0.25 BTC, you're not going to pay this. You're not going to pay this fee. So what happens at the end of the month? This fee gets taken out of your trade wallet. And then within a matter of 15 minutes, for everybody out there who's building a team, you're going to generate this bonus residual. It's called the residual bonus, guys, because it's actually paid out from the fees that are taken from the community. How awesome is that? Incredible. Now, I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed by this number, but let me just show you that for the maximum amount to make on this bonus, you can make up to 2,391 Bitcoins per month. Okay, it's paid one time at the end of the month, and you pay your monthly fee one time at the end of the month. So, for example, myself, let me just explain to you what happened to me last night. I'm a senior trader. So I got in bed and I looked at my phone and I noticed, oh, they took out the fee, 0.045 BTC. It was taken out of my trade wallet. Okay, cool. Within 10 minutes, guys, I looked in my bonuses and I had 1.64 Bitcoin put into my commissions. Okay? Does that excite you guys? It excites the crap out of me. And here's one thing that I love about this bonus. You can look at all the people in your matrix. There's a way you can do that in the back office, and I'll show you guys that another time. But you can go to your My Network and your matrix view, and you can look and see how many people in your matrix are not yet active. What that means is that they haven't yet earned 0.25 BTC. But how cool is it to be able to look at that number and know that for every person in your matrix, eventually you're going to be earning 0.003 BTC. That adds up, guys. Just to give you a rough estimate, if you have 10,000 people in your matrix, you will be earning 30 Bitcoins per month. And that is essentially a guaranteed residual income not because of recruiting, like I said, because the members below you will continue paying that monthly fee, and you're going to catch a percentage of that. So this bonus is extremely powerful, guys. It's going to change a lot of lives. It's going to create legacies. It's going to be able to set us up really, really well for future generations. This number 5 renewal team bonus is also incredible. When people renew their contract, they reinvest into the exchange. You're going to also catch referral or commissions on that based on direct, indirect, and team bonuses. So, for example, I have a lady on my team. Her name's Ada. She's from Nigeria. She's awesome. She's a rock star. And she's already done this 4 times. I think, actually, I'm sorry, guys. I think she just did it 5 times. So she had 5 Bitcoin in her exchange, and she's made 5 times that amount 5 times. Okay? Guys, we haven't even launched yet. This is the type of potential income in this platform. So if you don't think timing matters, think again, not only with the price of Bitcoin going up, but with this platform, this community exponentially growing before we've even launched. We're launching in Macau at the end of the month. So anyways, to touch on that, every time that she renews, I catch a certain bonus, right? So that's pretty cool. Now, if she were on my weaker team, if she were on the right team, the smaller team, I would catch another 10% of that because it would be on my weaker side. So it's incredible because this system is so synergistic. It works together. So when you guys are paying your reinvest, right, you have to renew and you have to pay that certain amount. Don't be discouraged because it's all coming back to you over time. And that's another thing that I love about this. Unlike the Christmas bonus that I used to get in my corporate office, where they would pay me just enough so I would come back after the new year and I would work just hard enough so they didn't fire me. This is an actual bonus where you can essentially get paid all over again on your entire organization. Again, you can essentially get paid all over again on everything that you build in 2017 when everybody starts to renew, and you can potentially get paid all over again. So I love that. And then they do have a career plan, guys. So an example I like to give of the career plan, if you guys have been in corporate America at all, is my father. You know, he worked at a company for over 20 years, guys. And you know what they gave him after 20 years? Well, they gave him 1 ounce of gold, which is worth less than 1 Bitcoin, by the way. But it took them 20 years, and they said, hey, Mike, we appreciate you. Thanks for everything you do. Appreciate the 15-hour days, taking an hour-and-a-half train ride, 6 days a week. We're going to give you 1 ounce of gold. My dad was like, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, they appreciate me. I was like, I guess that's pretty cool for 20 years. Well, let me show you what TCC does for people. And I'm just going to go through these really quickly because I don't want to get hypey on you guys, but that's all they're doing, guys. They're rewarding you for your work. In order to be able to be eligible for this, you have to have 4 people directly sponsored. Okay, guys? It's that simple. And you have to accumulate cycles. All a cycle is 1 Bitcoin volume on your left and 1 Bitcoin of volume on your right. That's 1 cycle. It's that simple. Don't overcomplicate it. And you'll notice that some of these things are pretty cool. I've already won the cruise 3 times. I've won the Rolex. I've won the trip. And they have some other great things that you guys can win. And it's not even winning, really. It's just earning. It's being rewarded like every good company should do for the people that are helping to build the company. And that's what TradeCoin Club has done for us. So this wraps up the presentation. I'm going to stop the screen share here. And we're going to look at the message. I want to know if used to reinvest my bonus profit up to the end of my contract without withdrawing profit, may I activate my new contract by using reinvest profit? I don't understand that question. I'm sorry, Benedict. I'm trying to get that. Shoot me an email. I will answer that question personally or reach out to me on Facebook. All right, guys, there's my email, info@NewWayEarners. If you guys want to unmute yourselves and ask any questions, now's the time. I'm also going to put my getting started page here. All right, so what I recommend you guys do is whenever you get someone on the team, send them to that getting started page first thing, before they even register, guys, have them watch my video. I think it's the first video when it says setting up or setup. And let me just show you the page so I can just show you guys. It'd be much easier. Okay, I'm going to show you guys newwayearners.com/getting started. Okay, this page must be used by everybody. Not must be, but you're really doing yourself a disservice if you don't. So I have a few videos in there, just a little bit about Bitcoin. Sorry, my internet's running slow. And then once they get past those videos, you'll see that section 1, guys, right? Section 1 is where you start to learn about how to get involved with TradeCoin Club. And I do believe that everybody should watch this video on registering before they register, or watch it while they're registering. Because so many people, guys, are putting in wrong emails, or they don't know where to put the electronic signature, or they're putting in an ID that doesn't have a picture associated with it, right? Simple things that can be prevented, because support right now is completely overwhelmed with the growth of TradeCoin Club. So they're very slow to get back to people. So please do yourself a service and make your business much easier by sending people to this page and letting them know that they should watch these videos as they go throughout their position and activate their account. I have a video on how to create your XPass and Compound. I have a video on how to just add your address, right? Because people even have questions on that. Sending a document. I show you how to send a document. I had somebody on the team earlier that sent me a message. Said, John, they should really explain how you should send this document. They're telling me I'm rejected. I've sent a support ticket, this and that. I said, excuse me, did you go to the Getting Started page that I told you to go to before you did the steps? And he said, well, no. Well, there you go, right? Duplication, guys. You can lead a horse to water. I really recommend you guys bring people to this page. Even on entering your Bitcoin wallet. A lot of people don't know where to find their Bitcoin wallet, right? This is new for a lot of people. So let's be servants and bring them to a page that can actually help them, as opposed to bringing a lot of stress onto our own lives and our own business by repeating the same things over and over and over and over, which will make you pull your hair out, I can tell you. Also, today, guys, notice the wheels are spinning, right? Today, after 5 o'clock California time, that's 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, you're going to notice that these wheels stop. And they're just going to stop. They're going to come to a complete halt. All you have to do is click the drop down here on the risk and choose your risk, and then the wheels will start spinning again. It's that simple. And I also have a video in my Getting Started page on how to participate in trading. And these are common FAQs here, guys, frequently asked questions that a lot of people get confused about. Okay? So please use the page. And this does not have a link associated with it, guys, so you can use it, send it to your team, send it to new people. I did not tie a registration link to it, so you guys don't have to worry about people joining some other team. I did that for you guys. I spent 2 months, guys, 2 months with no help, no support, nothing. I just did this all myself through trial and error. I clicked a bunch of buttons and I learned this stuff. So please take advantage of it, because it did take me a lot of time, and I created it for you guys so we can have a duplicative team here. All right. So that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Do you got any questions, anybody? Let me look at the questions here. Great presentation. Thank you. John, you're the best. Okay. Thank you. I guess I'll agree with that one. Great tool. Thank you. You're welcome. Saeed, Brian, you're welcome. Brooke, you're welcome. I appreciate the compliments, and I appreciate you guys spending your time with us. We want to make sure that you get value out of this. Okay, last thing, drum roll. How many new people do we have here? If you're a new person, if you are brand new, and this is your first time on this webinar, please put your name or put the name of the person who invited you in the chat, because I do have something to reward that person with, as I mentioned last week. And since you guys stayed until the end, I wanted to wait until I announced it. can we get all this information in other languages? They have a PowerPoint in other languages in the back office. If you go to tools and downloads or tools and videos, they do have a couple different languages. I know they're expanding on that, so bear with the company. It's in a pre-launch right now, so they are going to have more and more languages available. Also, if you guys go to YouTube, you might be able to find a TCC presentation in your language, right? There's a lot of people from different countries out there that are joining, and a lot of people are taking initiative to create a presentation in their language. So check out YouTube as well. All right, so who do we got here? All right, Willie, invited by Dave Ireland, excellent. Angelo, invited by Dave Ireland. All right, so far we got 2 for Dave. I'm gonna stop the recording since